Thanks for watching Halo Tech Tiers. What's going on, guys? It's Roanoke Gaming here with another video. This one strays away from the morphology of things and shouldn't take too long, but I'm actually lying because it is going to take a hot minute. But I figured it would be a good start, to build a base, as I will be mentioning tech tiers later on in my videos, so here's the foundation. If you like this video, why not press that subscribe button down on the bottom right? Go ahead, it's just right there. It's colorful, you should press it. Or just wait till the end of the video, after the discussion of neural physics, and there should be another button on the end screen, but I don't think you guys are really too new to YouTube, so let's just go ahead and jump into this thing. First, let's start with the basics. There are going to be 7 tech tiers in total. Well, really kind of 8, but the last one is more whispered about, and nobody really knows if it's been achieved or not. It's just basically hearsay and conjecture. There are stories that, ancient humanity and forerunners came close, but they still fell short of it. These tiers are going to be a measurement of what a society or species has achieved, and as they increase in tech tiers, they also come with their own list of perils and dangers. So let's begin. Tech Tier 7 is going to be the most common and most stable of all the tiers in the universe. They're going to be very small scale and have very limited technology. A species will use simple tools like rocks and sticks to hunt other animals, or they will essentially just find foliage in the woods and eat that. Society isn't really going to exist at this point. There are small bands of species scattered throughout the area, but interaction will typically be hostile. The species itself will look very primitive and may or may not have crude forms of clothing obtained mainly through pelts. Environmental impact will be minimal or non-existent. Fire may or may not be used at this point, and there's a possibility it might not even have been discovered yet. Interestingly, however, a very broad understanding of solar as well as planetary mechanisms seems to be quite prevalent at this point. Prehistoric man is a perfect summation of Tech Tier 7. Tech Tier 6 is the beginning of a massive urbanization for a species. While Tech Tier 7 societies can still exist at this point, massive pressure is felt by them because they either have to adapt or be overrun. Tech Tier 6 societies will push out or make Tech Tier 7 societies change either by force or by simply existing. Massive food production will be rather enticing, leading to more and more societies to convert. Transportation understanding increases at this point, and some societies will also advance medical technology as well. Those that do not increase medical understanding are doomed to fail out and die, unfortunately. The population explosion will create a perfect habitat for disease, and without the medical advancements, societies will crumble. Environmental understanding is important at this stage as well. If not looked into, the surrounding area will become poisonous, which will lead to crop failures and, once again, the collapse of the Tech Tier 6 society. The Ungoi were at this level upon joining the Covenant and were beginning to feel the effects of their environment changing. Massive storms began to brew, killing thousands in the process. Without the intervention of the Covenant, the Ungoi would have either died out or been bussed back down to Tech Tier 7. By contrast, humanity entered this Tech Tier society in 1781 with the invention of steam power. Tech Tier 5 is going to be the atomic age and can be quite volatile for the species. Specifically, our species. Typically, a species at this point will use this technology for clean energy. A belligerent or bellicose species will utilize the atom splitting for weapons. A species around this area will usually have become adept in atmosphere flight, as well as short trips to outside of the atmosphere. Humanity entered this era in 1945 when they dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but in less warlike fashion, conducted manned space travel for the first time in 1961. The duality of man has assured them that so far they haven't become extinct, but only time will really tell which mentality wins out. Failing to keep primitive thinking in check or discovering the atomic age too quickly will lead to a species extinction. While some may survive, the planet will quickly become poisonous to that species. If they are able to survive long term, then they will start over at Tech Tier 7. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to jail. Tech Tier 4 is considered the space age and is fraught with disaster inflicted by the species itself. At this point, a species will begin leaving their planets regularly and colonizing areas close to home. The issues begin to arise as most species will then begin to war, engulfing their own solar systems in battle, crippling themselves, and never making it any further. A lot of species have been said to have reached this point and then began slowly receding as they continue to fight rather than advancing technology. This is also known as the comfort tier as well, because species will start another round of medical advancement helping aid said species. Humanity reached this level in 1957, surprisingly, which it began launching artificial satellites into space. This is also very likely the era humanity found itself during the interplanetary war with itself. This level is also where the Kigyar and the Yanmei were before joining the Covenant. In some period of history, the Brutes actually found themselves at this point too, but due to their bellicose nature, a bloody civil war between rival packmasters, they bombed themselves back into oblivion and fell into Tech Tier Society 7 once more. Tech Tier 7 is characterized by a species that has left its solar system. The only true way to leave your solar system, due to the vast distances of space between suns, is to obtain slip space technology and mass drivers. A species at this level will also possess asynchronous linear induction weapons, hollow crystal storage, and semi-sentient AIs. The AIs will be created via memories of recently deceased or from flash cloning. This is a massive exploration boom as to be expected for the species, as you can guess that industry advancement and creation will not be far behind. Planet colonization will follow and species will begin to spread very rapidly at this point. Biology will actually begin to take over as well, and given the time spent in this era, a species can also begin to evolve to be different than their original homeworld species, basically due to the environmental pressures experienced by them on the new planets, asteroids, moons, whatever they choose to colonize. Humanity stood at this level before the Human Covenant War, and humanity reached this tier in 2291 following the Shaw-Fukuzawa Translite Engine creation. Basically, it was a slipspace engine utilizing a form of black holes to rip space, allowing the ship to pass through. Tech Tier 2 is characterized by a species' ability to perform exceedingly accurate slipspace navigation and near instant communication, as well as man-portable application of energy manipulation. Wow. The Covenant, during the war, stands at this level. The Sanshayum and the Sangheili brought the other races to this level upon their adoption into the Covenant. The main reason that they were able to reach this level is due to the artifacts left behind by the Forerunners. Let's discuss on a side note here real quick. The Sangheili and the Sanshayum were not punished as humans were. After the reseeding, humanity was left on a rock essentially with nothing. We had to fight, scratch, and claw our way through technology, utilizing anything and everything we had. Sangheili and Sanshayum were left technology, and that they utilized this to reach their tech tiers. They still, however, were never able to reverse engineer these artifacts. This may explain why the Sanshayum and the Sangheili view these halos as holy rather than the weapons like humanity saw. Mainly because we weren't spoiled little babies who had everything handed to us, so we saw it for what it actually was. Anyways, getting off my high horse now, had this not been the case, there more than likely would have been no Covenant, and it is possible humans would have gone on to completely dominate the galaxy. Humanity did enter an early version of this tier at some point during the Human Covenant War. By the end of the war, humanity can be considered full Tech Tier 2 species. Full Tech Tier 2. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Anyways, as they were able to reverse engineer the Covenant ships as well as the Forerunner artifacts and utilize their technology for advancements. This tech is not widely dispersed, however, and was only recently learned and understood. This suggests humanity reached this tier by 2557. Tech Tier 1 is going to be like a world builder. A species reaching this point is going to be able to manipulate gravitational forces, create fully sentient AI, fabricate super dense materials, perform extremely accurate slipspace jumps, create life from nothing, and obviously has the ability to create worlds. This species would essentially be gods. The Forerunners, along with the Ancient Man and Ancient Sanshayum, are the only known civilizations to ever reach this point. As a side note, did you know that the ancient Sanshayum had an alliance with ancient man? This might be why they hate us so much, as they were Tech Tier 1, and then the Forerunners ended up bringing pretty much everybody down to Tech Tier 7, mainly due to humanity and the Flood. So, humanity got punished pretty bad, like the middle child who, nobody likes. If humanity retrieves the second piece of the Janus key and locates the Forerunner artifacts, they may be able to reach and control this tier, bringing themselves back up on par with their ancient days. Tech Tier 0 is going to be referred as being transsentient. No examples exist from the Forerunners or any species with this tech tier, because this appeared to be our limit. The precursors, which created the Forerunners and man, may have been at this theoretical ceiling, however, but it is not known if this was actually the case. Supposedly, at this state, you can travel between galaxies, accelerate the evolution of intelligent life, and interact with neural physics. So, this is about to get pretty heavy. Neural physics is basically stating that the entire universe is alive, but in a way that cannot be comprehended and is beyond a biological organism's ability to perceive it. So let me see if I can explain. Imagine the universe is a brain. Now imagine your cells were self-aware, but not aware that they were a part of a much larger organism. Our brains are alive, but the cells aren't aware it's alive. Or maybe that we are even thinking. It should be noted that to support this hypothesis, when the halo arrays were tested and fired, it essentially destroyed the neural physics in that area. Much like if you cut out a piece of your brain, you can't think in that area anymore. The precursor tech is based and built in neural physics and is considered indestructible, but was very susceptible to the halo arrays and shattered, which says to me that neural physics is outside the physical realm of the universe, and so are the things created in its usage. The halo array is designed to destroy the nervous system, so it would confirm that neural physics does actually exist. This also means that the halo array is firing not inside of the universe, but paradoxically outside of the universe at the same time, both inside and outside. No idea how that works. On a side note, you can actually, it's been stated that you can hear the halo array, like hear it fire before they've even fired it, because of its ability to go faster than light. It's absolutely mind-boggling how this thing was built. And just as a little bit of conspiracy theory for you, this means that our own nervous systems are actually outside and inside the physical real of the universe, according to the Halo universe. Heavy stuff, right? I have trouble understanding it myself. Also, a Keymind may have been able to achieve Tier 0 as well, and due to them being Flood, however, much like how they can infect our nervous system, I imagine this would be like a cancer. This leads me to believe that they would end up destroying all life in the universe and not just this galaxy. If the Flood is able to do this, then they may be the inevitable end of the universe if humanity can't get out in front and stop them. Maybe this is what happens with all universes. A species advances, turns to Flood, turns around and destroys the universe, and that's the end. Well, before we start going down the rabbit hole, I hope you guys enjoyed my tech tier video. If it made you stop and think, please like and subscribe. If you thought it was boring and you hate me, well, there may be an infinite amount of universes out there where you have subscribed to me, so no worries. Alright guys, I will catch y'all in the next one.